Welcome back, everybody. Automotive Inc. Today we are driving the 2024 Ford Escape Hybrid. So if you guys don't know, this is a little 2.5 liter non-turbo engine mated to a CVT of sorts. We are in the ST model. This probably would not be the model we choose just because the some of the amenities that she would want are not in it. But let's take a look around here. So Iconic Silver, if you guys don't know, for 2025, Ford is dropping Iconic Silver from the Super Duty lineup. Don't know if they're going to drop it from anything else, but there we go. The engine just fired up. It's in battery mode. But ST, like the wheels, like the color. But yeah, dropping Iconic Silver is kind of going to be a bummer. $40,385. We got the check package and the B&O 360 camera. And where this does shine is the new updated interior. Is definitely super nice. Legroom is exactly the same as the Bronco Sport, so if you guys have checked out that video, legroom is about identical to it, although the Bronco Sport seats were more comfortable. Just be probably the material they were made out of. Now she's going to open up the back end for us.
Doesn't want to.
Let's see.
Oh, okay.
So it has a power lift gate, but when you fight it, it'll fight you back. So looking in here, it's not a big square. You can see that the D-pillars actually slope down pretty good here. Carpeted mats. Let's see if we got a spare. So we have a temporary spare in here. A little bit of storage underneath there. Unlike the Bronco Sport, we do have a 12 volt back here, but not a 110 outlet. So a little bit different, smaller area just because of the roof line, how it cuts down. Some little cubbies and stuff.
That actually goes under into the spare tire.
Okay, yeah. Got some dual exhaust and everything, but yeah, let's go ahead and hop in here. So just like the Bronco Sport, I have that front seat set up for where I'm gonna sit. And there actually is a little bit more leg room here. Reason being is the Bronco Sport has a zipper pouch here where you can put your sandwich or your trombone in it. No 110 outlet back here, but we do have our USB ports, and of course we have our vents. Tons of leg room. Here you can see we got height here for my head at 6'2". This wouldn't be where I would sit. This would be where our kiddo sits, and he's already tall, so we'll see how that goes. But let's go check out the front. All right, so at 6'2", I got plenty of leg room. Wife is shorter. Soft rubbery material here on the doors. She's not a fan of this faux carbon. This is really the only hard plastic. And no piano black except for around those. That's fine because that won't scratch up that bad. Put the volume knob over here so I can mess with that while she's driving. And then no real hard buttons. These are basically like a depress here. So if you're going to push that button, it will bring up the 360. So obviously we're on this big, huge screen. This, my wife will touch on here in just a second because this is a huge point of contention when we checked out the Buick Envision. So we'll talk about that. But that's how these buttons work. Is they're just like shortcut buttons to bring stuff into everything. So then you do have your mode button here, push button to start there, lots of hidey holes, wireless charger, and then almost the same layout as you would in the Bronco Sport, being the ST flat bottom steering wheel. But she did note, which she can talk about the steering wheel here in just a second. Let's get the fuel economy reset, and then we'll get her out there and let her drive.
Okay, wait. So I go out, and I don't.
All right, so now looking at this big screen again, she's going to talk in again. Sync 4, so just like Loki, my Super Duty, super intuitive. You have this giant map, wireless, Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, obviously. In this one, all electric buttons here, so like touch buttons here. No real hard buttons for the whatnot. And we're going to just kind of see what the hybrid gets. Again, non-turbo, so we'll see. All right. So we're back. I'm going to let her talk a little bit about what she thinks about this gigantic screen, some of her likes and dislikes so far of the 2024 Ford Escape Hybrid.
Hey guys, just driving now. I am not used to all the hybrid engine noises, so those are kind of interesting to hear. I'm used to regular car engine noises. Even the CVT and the Subaru has a gear shift change noise, so that's kind of what I'm used to. I love the big screen. It's really nice. The camera is insane considering the Buick's camera. They have this huge long screen that covers the gauges and all of that, and this tiny little camera window. I don't know about you guys, but I need to see everything. And having the tiny camera is not my way to go. So that was definitely one downfall, I would say, for the Buick that I really did not enjoy. As far as I do like the Bronco Sport buttons. It had so many buttons that I really enjoyed being able to do that. Here, at least most of the things I would access on the big screen, they're down below, like where the heating is, all of that type of thing. So I don't have to go into the screen to access it, which is kind of nice.
Yeah, so what she's talking about is, like I said, all of these little buttons right here. So if you want your fan speed, you're going to grab it, click it, draw it. You can go one up, one down, however you want to really roll with that. Very, very quiet HVAC system in here. Again, for your defroster modes and everything, you can click and run actually all three in there, which is pretty cool. You want to get rid of it, you tap it. You have your heated seat. It's all within a menu here, so it's at your fingertips, especially for the driver. They can just kind of tap it with their right hand and not have to really get off of it. And what she's saying about the cameras is, again, we wish we would have been able to shoot the Buick Envision. Really cool car, but they have like a 34-inch LCD screen, and the rear view 360 camera was probably smaller than a baseball card size. It's ridiculous. This one you get the whole screen size and everything like that. Again, she's also talking about, you know, this one does have a full LCD screen and no analog gauges, but it is nice because they kept the speedometer on the right side, so you can see your power input and speed and everything like that. And if you want to go to a more up trim version, then you can even get a heads-up display. But is the steering wheel just as soft as it was in the Bronco Sport?
Not really, actually. It's not bad though. It's squishy, and it's nice because it is heated all the way through.
So yeah, so we're on our way back. Merge on the highway was good. Driver feel is good. She talked about with me when we're off camera there for a second is this Escape versus the Ford Bronco Sport gives you the option to this be your city guy or city gal that's going to want the 360 camera, power lift gate, simple things like that. Or on the flip side, if you plan on going off-road and you don't want all that extra contraption and weight, then maybe the Bronco Sport. The Bronco Sport is definitely more comfortable to drive, but this one definitely is quieter inside versus the engine note. You couldn't really hear the engine except for in sport mode on the Bronco Sport. This one you hear it in normal mode, but not in sport. Odd. And but the screen's beautiful. The ride's really nice. Fuel economy is fantastic because I think we reset it in the Bronco Sport and it's like 20. She's getting 30.2, and we're not getting hard on. We don't drive people's or dealers' cars rough or anything like that. So it, you know, we just kind of drove normally what she would want. She wants more power versus her Tucson. So I mean, really, it was just drive it, and it's actually getting really good fuel economy. So it's got a beautiful display in the middle. It actually did better than this one than in my pickup. But yeah, what are your overall thoughts of this one versus if you had to choose the Bronco Sport or this one? Which one would you be picking?
Can I mesh the two? I would really like to mesh the two. I love the extra pieces in here. I love the bigger screen now that I'm seeing it. I think it would look silly in the Bronco Sport, but I love all those buttons in the Sport. I love the interior colors, and the seats were more comfortable in there. And overall, I kind of like that boxy, rugged look with all the body cladding and all of that stuff. Really enjoyed that. I kind of would really love to mesh the two. So picking one, I think it really does depend on who you are. So are you a city driver, or are you love to camp and do the outdoor things? Now we live in Colorado, and we kind of like to do the outdoor things, but usually that's why we take my husband's truck.
Yeah.
So picking one, I'm not sure yet. I do like the hybrid. I'm getting now, I put it in eco mode, and I'm getting 32 miles to the gallon, and I've only had it in eco mode maybe 5 minutes, so it's already jumped up crazy amounts.
Yeah, and that's nice because I think they're actually saying that this one should get 42 city and 36 highway. Yeah, that's pretty good. That's really, really good. So we'll get our wrap up of what we actually think of the car here in just a few, and we'll get right back to you guys. All right, time to wrap up on the 24 Ford Escape Hybrid and its comparison to, say, the Ford Bronco Sport. They basically carry over a lot of the underpinnings. The Bronco Sport is a little bit more rugged-esque and definitely has that more boxy, masculine look over the Escape. But at the end of the day, it was a neat car, and I love hybrids as always, so let's get the wife's take on that. All right, so Ford Escape, and your thoughts?
I liked it as far as it was kind of fun to have the hybrid opportunity. It still had a lot of the power, and switching it from electric to gas, that was a different sound I just wasn't used to. I loved seeing the miles per gallon go up, which was kind of nice because it was kind of almost like a competition. Like, could you see, drive it like this and still get 40 miles to the gallon? I got up to, I think, 33 in a 5-minute period, so that was pretty good. Overall, I would say it was nice, but boring. In all honesty, there was nothing that makes the Escape really stand out. Nothing on the outside, nothing really on the inside, other than the traditional that Ford Sync 4 system was really nice to work with. It's in low key, so I know it's been talked about, but overall, I've kind of eliminated it from my decisions because it's just, I need something a little bit more. I need it to be less boring, and that one was just a nice car. It was nicely put together, but kind of not for me.
Yeah, the seats were a lot firmer in the ST,
yeah.
Although we did sit in a Platinum right after that, and the seats were equally as firm, but not as nice and soft as the Bronco. So I guess if you're looking for comfort too, and you sit in the Bronco seats, if you like a softer seat, the Bronco Sport, that's the one you want to aim for, because the seats were not as comfortable in the little Escape. And like you said, the steering wheel felt a little bit different. Nice materials, but again, it just kind of blends into the sea of your typical CR-V, RAV4. Really no swagger to it. Nice riding car, good fuel economy, but it really didn't wow you in any factor. So if you didn't have power, you came out to be like, that's a nice car, but you're not blown away by like, that's a cool looking car. I mean, it didn't have that kind of swagger to it. So I can agree with you on those respects. Now, if we take the looks aside, obviously one's masculine, one's just kind of your standard neutral looking car. If you had to pick one today, which one are you picking? The Bronco Sport or the new Ford Escape?
It'd be the Bronco Sport all the way. I loved almost every single aspect of that, and the other ones that I was kind of wishing it had, everything else overpowered that, and it was kind of, one of those first class world problems. I needed a power lift gate, and really, do I need that much? So, those little things sorely just outnumbered, and I loved that Bronco Sport.
All right, guys. There you have it. If she was picking one, she takes the Bronco Sport, but that's not too odd for me to believe that, just because the little Bronco Sport has a little bit of like a little look, a little swagger. They're all out there. They sell a hell of a ton of these things, but at the end of the day, it just kind of had a look to it that you're like, that looks fun, that looks cool. Again, some people don't like the boxy look to it, but it is hard to beat the Bronco's seats in a lot of ways. And then it had just so much power. When I flipped it into Sport and didn't tell her, I mean, she like roached the tires going around the corner. So very cool little car. Again, not for me. I don't off-road or anything, but I like the big Bronco myself. I think the little Bronco Sport is a totally cool looking little car, and but very, very unique. But that is her take on the 24 Ford Escape. Before we leave, guys, hit that subscribe button for us. If you like seeing her on videos, want to see her come back and do more, then make sure you put that in the comments. As always, we appreciate you guys being here, and we'll catch you on the next one.